you still think Sargeras is going to have an impact on the story? Because like in my mind, I could absolutely see them doing, you know, like the same way that it's like, you know, they had like that meme, right? Break whenever subs get low, and it's like Illidan's cage, right? And I could absolutely see them bringing back Illidan and then making Sargeras somehow on our side in like 2 expansions from now. Like, you know, this expansion basically, you know, this expansion like introduces the old gods, and then next expansion kind of goes through the story of the old gods. And the last tier of the next expansion, you have the Void Lords becoming introduced, and then those are just so powerful that nothing that we have is that powerful, and the only thing that's that powerful is Sargeras, and we would have to go and fight with Sargeras. And I feel like that was the reason why they turn Sargeras from just being some kind of like overall terrible monster that's like just an evil titan to actually being a you know, basically just a complete neutral character that's just trying to destroy everything, or not everything, but like is everything, like anything that's corrupted.
I would. Some people are saying, you know, that's kind of like Illidan's story. Well, no shit. I mean, Illidan's kind of like a mini Sargeras. Like,
it's true.
He was trying to do the right thing, but he took a dark path to try to do it. But that's the whole point. That's like the whole trope of the character. That's the whole theme. Although, by the way, Illidan isn't going to do shit to Sargeras. For the record, Illidan is nothing compared to Sargeras. There's not even a comparison. From what we've seen, he's the most powerful being in the universe that we've ever seen. I don't think that Illidan could do anything to him.
Can we get tanks? That's the way that I looked at it. Is like, I mean, Sargeras. Somebody was saying that Sargeras was afraid of Ashara the other day. That's bullshit, right?
I mean, I don't see any. I think.
I mean, because Sargeras, she's on the planet. He's bigger than the planet.
Yeah, he could literally just.
I mean, that seems like, man, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
The only thing that I could see is because, as Queen Ashara alludes to, she was destined to rule, and I think that her pride makes her very dangerous, and she is very, very prideful and very vain.
Yes,
and I think that makes her dangerous. I don't think that would scare Sargeras, though. He's supposed to be, like, according to Chronicle, once again, I'll keep saying that he's supposed to be like the most courageous being in the entire universe. But
wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, it literally says that even among the extraordinary members of the Titan Pantheon, Sargeras had unmatched courage and strength. And courage is literally like the absence of fear and like danger. Valor is the same way. It's like
shit
to be valorous. By the way, remember Vol'jin was touched by the hand of valor. Valor is like literally great courage in the face of fear. And Sargeras was apparently supposed to be, you know, terrified of the void, but fought back against it anyway.
Holy shit.
But I guess pretty common and obvious themes like that make me crazy to some people. I don't know. It seems pretty obvious.
It seems obvious, but it's also still like a massive thing. I mean, Sargeras leading to Fel because he would rather see everything destroyed than given back to the old gods.
Someone's absolutely correct. Someone corrected me on the courage thing. They're right. Like it's facing that fear, not the absence of fear. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Okay.
Someone did also say, isn't Sargeras basically like the paladin of the Pantheon? You could look at it in like a certain sense.
He's
that
more
way.
The warrior because he's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely more warrior.
And that's actually what Chronicle calls him, is a warrior. And I mean, think you're a warrior. You've been playing warrior forever. Like, what's your main resource?
Rage.
Oh wow. Look at that. Let me show you something.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you this one thing here. Did you ever happen to read that interview? I can't for the life of me remember who was interviewing Alex Afrasiabi. He's one of the big story guys at Blizzard. And he asked him about Sargeras and like if he would have any involvement in the future storyline.
Yeah.
This is basically what he says. He says, "What can you say about Sargeras? In the previous expansion, he's been jailed within the seat of the Pantheon. Do you have plans to bring him back?
Okay.
Or any other ideas, or is he dead for good?" Alex Afrasiabi says back to him, like Blizzard loves to do, he answers a question with a question. And he says, "What do you think about it?" And the guy says, "I think that he will come back in the future at some point." And Alex Afrasiabi looks at the other guy who's being interviewed, and he says, "What would you say?" And the guy replies, "I agree with what you said before about death being a state." And that further reinforces what I've been saying, that death isn't the end, and WoW, there's another side that we're gonna see eventually. I also think imprisonment is a state where he is at right now. If the story takes us in a way where he comes back, I'd love to see where that goes. And Alex Afrasiabi says, the last thing he says is, in certain skies across Azeroth, you can see a constellation now after the Legion is defeated, and there is a red star. Make sure you keep looking at that red star. If it's ever gone, that's a problem. And people wondered for a long time, like, what does that mean?
Wait, so it's up in the sky right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you,
let me go over there and look at that.
Yeah, you can see it from Dalaran.
Okay. And we need another tank, guys. The tank that we got, for some reason, didn't queue up. All right, go ahead.
If I send you a picture on Discord, would you be able to pull it up on the stream? Okay. Can I DM it to you, or do you need to put in a certain channel?
Just DM it to me. That's fine.
Okay. People asked for a while, why would that be a bad thing? Like, what is the star in the sky? In a dick pic.
Yeah.
I sent him those when he's not streaming. Don't worry, like that won't get pulled up.
I'm very careful, boys. Don't worry.
And I'm gonna send you 2 pictures. You can show whichever one you want. They illustrate the same thing. If you pay real close attention to cinematics, like I do, you'll notice little things. And I think that the red star in the sky. If you want to pull that picture up whenever you get a second.
Okay. And it was on Discord?
Correct. And what I always thought the red star was, as most other people probably thought, was like it was the remaining like rift that was kind of supposed to symbolize the seat of the Pantheon.
Yeah.
But I started to look closer at the cinematic where Sargeras is imprisoned.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that that's what it is. And whenever you can show it, I think people will just understand when they see it.
Oh, wow. Okay, 1 second here. There it is. That's the star right there. So you think that's the same star?
I think that it's Sargeras' soul, and I think that it's burning with such intense rage that we can see it from our planet. And when Alex Afrasiabi said that if the star goes out, it's going to be trouble for us. Like, what have I been saying this whole time? Like, I'm telling you, the other ones that are on the seat of the Pantheon with him are the bad guys. And we are in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble right now.
Well, couldn't you? I mean, if you find out the Pantheon are the bad guys, okay, but don't you think it would just be an easier explanation that he would be the only person that would be able to defeat the Void Lords? Or do you think that they're actually going to for sure go and make the Pantheon evil?
I definitely think they are, man, and whether I end up being right or not is irrelevant. Like, for me, it's mostly about the fun, but at the same time, I definitely think so. I think the only one who can save us besides... Well, I think the whole Illidan thing where it's like, only we can save ourselves, all that stuff is kind of true. But I think that Azeroth needs to not be sleeping in this planet anymore. Like, she either needs to be reborn and fully awakened, or this planet around her needs to be shattered so that she can get out.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like, so this whole thing about Azeroth awakening, it's a little bit unsettling because...
Yeah.
We're on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just seems like... You know, I mean, I don't know how you're gonna make sense out of that. And also, like, Argus was alive, so like, what even really is a Titan's soul? Because like, if the planets are shells for Titans, right?
Allegedly, yes.
So yeah, basically like kind of an incubation chamber for Titans. So if the planets are incubation chambers for Titans, and we were able to destroy Argus, and you know, the Argus, we can still go back to Argus. Argus is still in the lore. It's not like Argus doesn't exist anymore. So that would mean that Azeroth could awaken and hypothetically...
And not destroy the planet.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, like, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think that the Titans can permanently be, like, absolutely destroyed. I think they're aspects of the universe. Like, I think they're meant to embody things like time and space and life and death and light and shadow.
Didn't Sargeras... Like, because originally the Titans were alive, and then didn't the Chronicles say that all the Titans are dead besides Sargeras?
Yeah, and then that ended up not being true. Like, we found them, and then they didn't have physical bodies, but their souls still very much existed. And then,
but he destroyed their physical bodies, though.
Yeah,
right?
But the body,
so,
the body may be tied to the soul, but the body is finite. Like the soul, and this is not just a WoW thing.
Yeah.
Like the soul can exist on past the destruction of the body and most fantasy worlds. So I think, I mean, we saw the Pantheon like appear at the seat of the Pantheon in that cinematic and just take a physical form instantaneously. Whereas Chronicle says that they woke up as living worlds and the mountains and oceans and all that stuff literally became a part of their body. That doesn't seem to be true. Like from everything that we've seen, that seems like a total lie. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, man. I think that the world is more so, well, I think the world is more so a prison built around what's inside of it. And I don't think Titans are supposed to sleep inside worlds for as long as Azeroth has. I think that's pretty unnatural.
So,
I mean,
okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, think just people that are like, what about the prison? Like, think about the things that the Titans build. They didn't like the demons, so what do they build for them? A prison. They didn't like the elementals, so what do they build for them? A prison. The old gods, prisons. That's all they fucking build. Like, they'll, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They specialize in building prisons. What the fuck makes this world any different? I guess I don't know. That's the way I see it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that kind of does make sense. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, if they had the Sargeras become like a kind of a, I don't know, kind of like how Illidan is basically. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, you're right. Like Illidan has like a goal, and Illidan is on our side, but Illidan is mainly on his own side. Mm-hmm. And I like that in like a character. I would be okay with they made Sargeras kind of like on our side in, you know, some future expansion or whatever. But it's kind of weird. And so you think that, is that what the, because like obviously there are all the Il'gynoth whispers, and there are two of those I thought of right now. One time Il'gynoth, I believe he said that, you know, he's my creator and he's yours too, or something like that. He basically implied that whoever created Il'gynoth also created the people, or the player. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, that kind of does make sense, right? Because the curse of flesh is why, you know, every single race exists, and that was created by the old gods, right?
That's what we're told, is that Yogg-Saron spread the curse of flesh into the Forge of Wills in Ulduar, and that was used to spread the curse of flesh throughout the Titan Forge. But here's the thing, is that in Chronicle, it kind of talks about when the old gods fall out of the sky, because that's what basically happens, that they're all giant masses of flesh. So I have to ask then, did all of the old gods get their flesh from Yogg-Saron? And is Yogg-Saron actually the source of flesh? Because I don't really think that makes very much sense. We're also told that these old gods came out of the void, from the Void Lords, when the void actually strips away your flesh and destroys it and makes you immortal and undying. It kind of seems counterintuitive that
it's like paradoxical.
It is paradoxical, and I think that flesh itself is more likely to come from, well, I mean, they call it the curse of flesh, but I almost see it more as like the gift of mortality, because that's really the key behind the curse of flesh, is the mortality.
I don't know. It's really kind of hard for me to say like how exactly the war is supposed to evolve and everything. Whenever, you know, like there are all these like questions that seem like really, really unanswered, and sometimes it's like there's like this line that I feel like Blizzard is on where the writing is either genius or fucking
or just stupid as fuck.
Like there's no way. It's like kind of like, you know, people that are geniuses are usually assumed to be crazy at the beginning, and there are some people that think that they're geniuses but they're actually just crazy. And it's like, which one is it with Blizzard? It seems like every patch I go back and forth.